Afternoon guys, it's Jason here. What I'm going to do here is a little tutorial on a waypoint mission with a few point of interests for all you beginners out there new to the Litchi system. So what we're going to do is, this is a flight over Long Sands in Tynemouth area of Whitley Bay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to be standing just down here to take this flight. There's no interference. You quite have got quite a high viewpoint over the area. As you can see, we've got a Tynemouth Priory which is actually above where I'm taking off from. There's no interference at all from any Wi-Fi signals. There's a little electronic box here, but I found no problems from this electrical box, which is probably about 5-6 feet above from where I am. So what we're going to do here is start off with my first position, because I'm actually taking off from here. But first I think I'll do all the waypoints. For this mission I'm going to make the camera point down to the actual item, so I'm actually about 20 feet above the sand. So anything below that I'll have to do for a minus if I want to actually view the camera. Okay, so what we're going to do is do a few point of interests. One is the pool itself. Now that 3 feet here, when you first click on it, so it's a right click on your button on your mouse, will bring up your first point of interest. Now because it's actually below me, I'm actually going to do it down to say a minus 13 to minus 20, because I think it's about 15-20 feet below me. So if I do it say 13, because I think it won't go down to 15 on here. And the next one, so because I'm going to be flying from here, I think I might have a look at the Priory as well. Now as I was saying earlier, that this is higher than what I am, so I'll say about an extra 20 to 30 feet above me. So I'm going to do a main point on here. So right click again for your point of interest, and then I'll raise it, say about, let's see what it goes from 39 feet for that one. Now for the way back, I'll have a look at this green here, because there's a nice few houses here. So another waypoint. Now this is just only slightly above me, so I'm going to keep it, say probably about 10 feet for that one. And then I'm going to be flying back over this beach. Now I want to stay away from the people as much as possible, so I'm going to do a few waypoints over the pool, then over this reef item, and then this church. Now the church steeple itself is probably about 40-50 feet, so I'm going to go in between that. If I click on the last waypoint for this barrier reef, it's probably just slightly lower than what I am, so I'm just going to do a -7, same as this pool. I'm down to a -7. So that's my main point of interests. So now what I'll do is I'll do a mission. Now if you click on the settings down in this bottom left hand side, it tells you the speed of your aircraft. Now I like to do it about 10 miles an hour, so I'll see if I can get down. So it looks, yes, 10 there, 10 miles an hour. Always do it in imperial, and for filming I use curved turns, because you can't do any photographs with this. Even if you try and put it into the settings, it will not do it on curved. If you want to take photographs during your mission, it has to be straight lines. So we'll close this down, and say I'm taking off from this point here, so I'm going to take the aircraft over the ground, which I know there's no obstacles in the area. Now this is your height, which is 98 feet. That's your start point. So what I'm going to do is lower that down to about 26 feet, and I'm going to hold it there for a couple of seconds anyway before it goes to the next one. We're going to go to point of interests. Now if you disable it, that means that you can have control of the camera tilt. That's up and down, so you can actually move the camera during your flight. If you want to go for focus point of interest, that'll actually point down to the height that you've set for each of these waypoints. Like this one here is minus 13. So if I was flying here, let's say about 100 feet, it will actually point down to a minus 13 feet for the camera, and that will go into percentage. So as it's looking at that point of interest at the moment, I want to set it to the opposite direction. So I'm going to look at this one here, number 2. So I'll click on point of interest and go down to 2. So now that you see the aircraft is pointing at this waypoint, I'm going to do point of interest. Now you see it's 0 degrees because it's actually above me at the moment. It can't alter the camera higher because I'm only at 26 feet at the moment. So what I'll do is I'll point it at number 3 to start off with. So there you go, it's now turned my camera to number 3, and I'm going to be flying across here. So I want to actually go a bit higher now. So the next waypoint I'm going to click on just a little hair, say it says 26 feet. It'll always stay at the next one that you've already corrected at. So it's 26 feet, the next one will be 26 feet, and so on. So I'm actually going to raise the height now to say about 100 feet. See what the closest I can get on there because it's quite sensitive. 102 feet. At the moment it's pointing at this waypoint over here because that was number 1. That's the closest waypoint to the actual aircraft. So I'm going to point that down now to number 3, and I want to focus it on that item. So now watch, it's 102 feet and that one's at 3 feet. So when I click on point of interest, it now calculates where that camera has to be, which is a minus 8 degrees on the camera. So I'm going to focus again on the next one, still at 102 feet. There's no obstacles here, there's no people in this area here. Now the next one, still looking at this number 3. I'm actually going to move it out slightly. Now the next one, I want to raise it up because I'm at 102 feet. This was, say, 40 feet above from where I am. So I want to go, there's only 60 feet difference then. So I'm actually going to go to this next one, but I'm going to raise it to 200 feet. So there we go, I've got 200 feet. Now, as it's the closest waypoint, point of interest to this waypoint, it actually alters the direction. So I'm going to go for point of interest minus 13. So it knows exactly what height I set this at, which was 39 feet. And so it calculates where that camera's got to be at. Now you can see these little blue lines, that's because of the curved lines. It automatically puts these curves into your flight. So I'm actually going to go fly over here. It will stay at 200 feet for looking at that, and it will still do 200 feet. Now you see it's doing a nice curve there for the next one, and it's still looking at this waypoint. Now when I get closer to this waypoint, hopefully it should change. There you go, it's looking back now at number 3. So if I do point of interest now, it's minus 23 because that was only 3 feet below from where I was. 7 feet above from where I was. We'll just click back on here just to make sure that see, I didn't do that. Focus point of interest. The next one, if you can just click on this next tab. Point of interest minus 16. The next one, point of interest minus 19. It's because it's altering height all times. Because that was further away, that's why it was only 16. Now that I'm getting closer, it has to do minus 19. So I'll click on to the next one, it's minus 26. So what I'm going to do now is fly over myself, over this area. Now you can't go too far on these waypoints because it will say invalid flight. So I'm just going to click again, and now it's turned to this waypoint. If I click on focus point of interest, it's minus 42. That's because it's a minus 13 point of interest. That's because it's lower than what I am actually at. I'm going to fly over the top of there. So what it's going to do is, actually I'll put this one over here and then there. It's automatically going to turn this corner, but it'll also smooth flight around this area here. What I want to do is point of interest. I'll keep forgetting those. Point of interest again, minus 13. Next one, point of interest, minus 27. So now I'm going to fly along this beach. I'm just going to do it pretty quickly just so that I can get these waypoints in, and then I'll go back over these waypoints. So this one here, focus point of interest -11, so it's actually going to turn around here and then smoothly come around here looking at number 4. It'll keep flying sideways to number 5 and to number 6. So I'm just going to do the point of interest for those, and there we have it, that first mission. So now I'm going to make it fly back to me, because I just want to come straight back. So I have to do a couple. It's actually going to go back onto these again. So what I'll do this time, instead of actually looking at these point of interest, we'll keep it on disabled, but click on, I think it would be, say, number 1. So we'll click on number 1, and then that's looking down at this point of interest. I'm going to keep it on disabled for the moment until I get a bit closer, and then point of interest -12, so now it's looking down on there. I'm going to come round to this side. It's still looking at number 1, but what I can do is, because it's looking at number 1, I'm still standing here, I can alter where that camera is when it's on disabled. So if I go onto this heading, I can, if you watch the icon here while I'm turning this heading, you'll see it move. So I can actually point it in roughly my area. I could always put a focus point on there. Well, that's what I'll do, is click a focus point, -3, which is okay. Number 17, pick on there, number 7, because it's number 7, and now it's at me. But you say you can change that heading to whatever you want on there. So I'll click on number 7 again. Now it's pointing at me. So then I'm going to bring it back over land, and now I can start reducing the heights. So if I reduce this height down to, say, about 100 feet, and then this one down here to 16 feet. So what you've got to remember is it goes at a diagonal line straight down. So this, just for sake, say if this is your horizon level, it'll actually take this cruising height down. So from 102, then it'll go down to, say, about 80 or 50, then down to 16. So you just got to remember, if there's any obstacles here, you've got to calculate for that. So say if there was a tree there or a building there that was 180 feet, and at this point on your downscale was 30 feet, then obviously it's going to hit that item. So just got to make sure that there's no obstacles in your direction there. So there you have it. So there's your mission. Now this is basically, it'll turn all of your point of interests to your actual camera settings automatically. That's what I've set it for. What you could do, if you want a really nice smooth action, so we'll go back to number 1, is click on your point of interest and then go interpolate. What that'll do is, it won't do a fast speed action to point down to your object, so say your point of interest. If I'm going from this one here to number 7, say this was pointing at number 7, it would actually move pretty quickly to get down to that viewpoint. If I go interpolate, it actually slows it down to, say, about 30%, so it does a nice smooth action. So what we'll do is, for this mission, I'll go back now and click on interpolate for all the others. So it's on point of interest 8, interpolate, and I'll do that for them all. So I'm just going over each one. Now that I've always got that set in there for the point of interest, I know it's actually going to take a nice smooth action, and it won't rush that camera down into position. I don't need to do a point of interest on. Point of interest, interpolate. Same again, point of interest, palate. And then the last one is disabled, but I'll have a look at me. So I'm still at 16 feet looking down at me there. So that's your mission. And then all you do then is, once you've logged in, so say if I log in now, I'm logging in with my account. I'll log in with my Facebook account. Now I'm logged in. What I can do is mission, click on the missions and go save, and I'll put a name in there, new Long Sands Waypoints. Click on save. Now that's saved. Now once you've got your device, you can log in. You tap on the Litchi icon in the top left hand side of your device, and it'll tell you to log in on your device. If you log into that device with your Facebook account, all these missions that you save will automatically upload to your device. So I'm hoping that you got the idea there. So what I'll do is I can actually save this mission so that people can see all my waypoints here. So look, new long sand, there it is, so it's saved. So I can actually share this item. So what I'm going to do is see if I can share this onto a friend's timeline. I'm just this is going to be for Herbie. You're probably listening to this, Herbie. Hi, Herbs. So I'm sending you this message, so you'll get this message soon, and then I'll upload it for you so you can actually watch it. So I'll post that to Facebook. So I'm actually saving it so people can actually view it. Anybody can view any of your missions, unless you have this box ticked, which means private. So I've got loads on here. So there's the one I'm doing. You can actually open it again, or you can download the actual mission, and you can actually delete the mission as well. You can also add a YouTube video, which I might do once I've filmed the actual location. But for first, this is what the actual tutorial for you, just so that you'll be able to actually load this one in if you wish, and then you can actually go and fly this mission. You can actually fly anybody's mission that's on this discovery. There's quite a few in the area. You can see there's quite a few, and if you look in this area where we are, so look, just click on new. There should be some around here somewhere. Click on South Shields. Oh, it's not letting me see them now. Normally they'll pop up on here. It's just plain silly buggers at the moment. There's some down further down south. It's not letting me look at these ones up here, but you'll probably be able to see mine anyway in this area, all the ones that I've saved. So I'm hoping, hopefully that's useful for you. And so I'll share this one for you so that you can actually test it, because I know you live in this area somewhere, and you'll be able to do this little flight. I'll speak to you soon. Oh, sorry, one thing I didn't forget, I forgot to mention, is once you've done your map, if you look on this top end where you've saved it, it says 2.1 miles, and it's going to take me 17 minutes. Now, that's taking it really for the max, what I would do, depending on what the wind was like in that area. What you can do is in the settings, see where I had 10 minutes, if you keep an eye on this 17 minutes there, if I change the speed of the aircraft, you can actually see the time coming down. So it's only going to take me 14 minutes if I do 12 miles an hour. If I do a faster, that comes down to 10 miles an hour. So I say I like to go for about 10, because it gives you, it doesn't give me show the props in the video. So it's taken it to 17 minutes. So I forgot to mention that earlier, so sorry about that.